from season 4, episode 7 starts off with Jade and Randall trying to get into the door. When they realize they can't get in there, Jade said it's probably for the best, and then they put a talisman on the door just in case. Here come Henry in the middle of the day, drunk as a skunk. Good evening, everyone. Kenny looked at Boyd because he's like, "Are you sure this is a good time?" Because apparently Boyd wants to discuss what happened. He wants to tell everyone about Tabitha and Jade being reincarnated or whatever. Why Henry needs to be involved is beyond me. But anyway, let's keep going. So Ethan is talking to Tabitha, and she has Jim's clothes, or whatever. You know what I noticed about Ethan? You know how most kids on shows grow up pretty fast, and it's a big difference. And this show was out for a while too, like on hiatus or something, wasn't it? And Ethan doesn't look like he's grown much. But anyway, so Tabitha sits down with Julie and tells her that, well, she's kind of beating around the bush, and Julie's like, "Mom, just spit it out." Julie's over it because her plan to find her dad didn't work, and she's just over this place. And so Tabitha tells her that about her and Jade being reincarnated. Julie doesn't buy it at all. She just doesn't, which I get. Like, I kind of get it, but I'm like, I saw a lot of people saying there's so many strange things happening on here, and then when someone mentions something strange, people aren't really getting behind it. They're like, no, it might be something else. But I get they because they think that everything that whatever's happening, it's that place messing with them. So I get why people aren't really that receptive to some of the things that people are telling them. And then I also get why, and then I'm also on the side of why don't you get it? Because this place is crazy. So Boyd sits down with Victor and Henry to tell them this. And now I don't know if Boyd has never dealt with a drunk person before, but this was not the time. He said he didn't have a choice, and I know he was banging on the door, and people are wondering what was happening when he was taking that sledgehammer to the wall in the basement. But he could have totally left Henry out of all of this. I mean, for real. He would have probably passed out and gone to sleep, and they could have had a whole meeting, and he didn't have to know anything. And he didn't want to hear it. He gets up. Well, he tried to get up. He stumbled up, and he was like, "You're saying this about my wife," and he just stormed off. But come on, Boyd, what did you expect? Victor told Boyd he doesn't want to hear anything else about the man in the yellow because if the man in the yellow is back, bad things are going to happen. So here's the other great idea Boyd had, and he's telling everyone in the room about the whole reincarnation. And the bus driver lady, which I don't know her name, she said, "Well, if Jade and Tabitha have been here before, does that mean the rest of us have?" Jade told him no, which I don't know how he figures that. But anyway, he was like, no. And Luca was sitting there listening to all of it. Julie was outside getting high. Tabitha came out and she tried to hide it. And Tabitha was like, "I could smell it through the window, Julie." She's like, "Do you want Ethan to see that?" And Ethan was like, "See what?" And they kept blowing Ethan off in this conversation. But Julie was just she's just mad about everything. And Tabitha's trying to talk to her. Tabitha tells Julie that everyone in Colony House knows, and she's like, "You guys told people," and she's just annoyed, and she walks off, and her Tabitha calls her, and she's like, "What?" She said, "I just need to know if you're okay." And she said, "I'm not okay, but I'm not going to hurt myself." So she goes off, and she said, "Where are you going?" She said, "Somewhere where Ethan can't see this." And Ethan was like, "See what?" So Victor shows up and he tells Tabitha he asks her, he said, are you my mom?" I think he asked her that then. And she doesn't really say anything. And he says, "I'm going to do something bad, something scary, and can you come with me?" So or not Julie, but Tabitha doesn't really want to go, but she saw that Julie is in no condition to watch Ethan. So meanwhile, Boyd has a plan, or he's in here trying to make a plan, trying to get them to find out about the tunnels and find every entrance and draw a map and get everyone who has been down there to give them information. While he's talking, Jade notices his hand is shaking and he asks him what's wrong with his hand. And Boyd is like, nothing. He tries to blow it off. Boyd gets Jocasta to go back in the basement and look at the things down there to try to help him. I knew when that Viewmaster came, that's what they were called, Viewmasters. But I knew when that Viewmaster was kept being shown, Boyd was gonna it was gonna be something. I don't know if it was Boyd, but I knew it was gonna be something. So Boyd's looking through it, and then a picture of him and his wife is there. But then when he goes back to look at it, it's not there, of course. Christy's mad that Boyd didn't tell her about Tabitha and Jade. Donna's mad that she had a heart attack. She's in bed. She asked Boyd if they buried Oscar yet, and she's annoyed that they didn't bury him yet. But he said the graveyard's full and they need a new spot, which lets us know, of course, something's going to happen. Boyd comes outside with that statue thing that killed the dolls, and in the background they're having a discussion about what they're going to do. Jacasa was leading the talk about them going in groups and some going down in the basement. But when Boyd walked by with that statue thingy, Luku looked a little scared. Henry goes looking for Tabitha, and then he has this weird hallucination with like a like that he's in the hospital, like with a hospital band in a bag, a drip bag or whatever, and then he snaps out of it. Back to Tabitha, Ethan, and Victor. They're at the car. That's the car the guy in the yellow suit arrived in back when Victor was little. So they're trying to find clues. Victor goes in the car and he finds this a bag of teeth. Miranda. Tabitha Miranda, she goes to Miranda's car, the car that Miranda arrived in, and she envisions her driving. So there's Miranda. And then Victor freaks out. Victor's always like finding out something and he freaks out and doesn't want to continue. He's always like, "We got to go." So he was like, "We have to go." And Tabitha said, "What do you have?" And he said he found the teeth. And then Victor was like, he told Ethan, "You need to look. You need to look. You need to be prepared." And he told her, he broke it down. He said, "The last time you were here, or Miranda was here, she had a boy and a girl. She came and had a boy and a girl. The girl died and the boy was left there alone." And so he said, he's talking to Tabitha, "You came and you had a boy and a girl." And he told Ethan he needs to be prepared to be there alone, basically. And Ethan stomps off. And Tabitha's like, "What is wrong with you, Victor?" Victor's like, "Look, I'm just trying to keep it real. I'm so sick of her always like, I didn't mean to bother you. Whatever." And so she goes in there to talk to Boyd. And she's like, "If you guys are going to go down in that, they're not just going to let you come take," or what did she say something about, "It's dangerous down there in the tunnels." No shit. And Boyd just lays out the whole plan to her, the entire plan. Jade made a little map of the tunnels. And Kenny's like, "Why can't you just draw it?" And they were going back and forth. And it was funny because Jade was like, "What did you used to do before this?" And it was just like a funny little conversation. And Kenny was just annoyed, but Kenny was a coach. In comes Henry. At this point, Henry's definitely comic relief. And it's so funny because Jade asked Henry's like, "Henry, what did you used to do before this?" And I said the same thing. Just before he said it, I was like, "Drink." And he was like, "Well, exactly what I'm doing now." Meanwhile, Sophia's in the barn and she's looking for oh, that's weird. Sophia's in the barn. That reminded me, if you're a Walking Dead fan, when Sophia was in the barn and she was a walker. But anyway, um she finds an egg and she's like smelling the eggs to see, I don't know. But anyway, she grabs one, puts it in her pocket, her little dress pocket. Julie's in the diner and Elgin comes in and they're talking because remember they had that little moment where they were getting high and stuff, and he was just trying to say there's a purpose, and she was like, "Oh yeah, where your eye?" And he was just, and she was like, "What's the reason for you losing your eye then?" Like she is tired. She's like, "If this is what's supposed to be happening, why would you have to lose your eye?" So Henry and Jade are talking, and Henry freaks out again. Like he sees this vision of him in the bed, and then in a hospital bed, and someone's talking to him. And then Victor is normal and he comes up to me, he's like, "Dad," like he's an adult male, normal adult male, and he's like, "Dad." And then all of a sudden Jade's snapping his fingers. He's like, "What happened?" Henry, snap out of it. But remember, Sophia said to him, "What if this was all a dream?" Right? And then he drank her blood, so she's really messing with his head. So he's gonna be doing stuff like, "This isn't real, this isn't real," and doing weird stuff, I bet, because that's planted in his head. So